Alright guys, we're already in the next, in the next game, yes, but still, we are in the first of tonight's semi-finals. It is going to be here, spawning in the bottom left corner of the map. It is Turuk from Team CSC.
And on the top right-hand side of the map, we have NSH's SSanaEE. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I left you this player on purpose just to see what you made of it.
Alright, so you're leaving me high and dry already. Only the first day.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg matchup here on Daybreak. And we mentioned this before, Daybreak, one of those maps that Zerg players generally like. Easy to establish up 3 bases. Meanwhile, Terran players can establish up 3 bases as well. The big question is, do they try to expand into the center location, or do they try to go into that back location as well? Planetary fortresses in that center location is so strong, coupled with a few siege tanks, cutting off any sort of run-bys into the main base.
Usually the choice is the back location, even though it's further ahead from your main and your natural than the forward expansion, but then the forward expansions have the tendency of being picked out very easily with a run-by attack, so you know, players tend to go for the more safer play.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to see SSanaEE going for a hatchery and then also getting the spawning pool and that extractor. So he is going to be going for metabolic boost. I do expect him to pull drones off of gas after he gets up to 100 and then really try to start power droning. All SSanaEE wants to do here is get map control, make sure he can cover the distances, and perhaps catch a couple straggler marines. Now, taking a look at Turuk, what do you make of this double gas?
The double gas on Terran usually mean well, it most definitely means some tech play, although he's going for an expansion first. Will it be some Hellbat drop follow-up or just maybe Banshee play? I think it's too early to say definitively, so we'll need to wait, you know, will there be a tech lab or will there be a reactor? I think there will be a tech lab. Will there be a factory straight after that? I think there will. He's waiting for enough minerals to build a factory right now. If I would be to place my bets, I would place them on cloaked banshees, or at least banshees, even without cloak.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Hellions into banshees most likely, just because Hellions Hellions at least force the Zerg player to play a little bit defensively, and it doesn't cost gas, the main limiting factor for cloaked banshees at this point. Now, the double gas...
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but SSanaEE has went for a very quick Roach Warren. Normally, you build the Roach Warrens later on, and this may be a sign of upcoming aggression from him, which I wanted to also mention that Roach aggression has become rather popular recently.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is actually with Burrow. If you guys don't remember, they moved Burrow from layer tech down into tier 1 only at hatchery. So roaches get very fast regeneration.
Yes.
This is going to be a 2-base roach push with Burrow, and with only marines in order to defend. It is going to be very devastating. The only thing that can counter it is the Widow Mine. And the question is SSanaEE gonna walk his roaches into the 2 Widow Mines?
And very smartly, yes, Turuk is going for Widow Mines, although, you see, normally in Wings of Liberty you would expect, yeah, if he's going for a Stargate play, and by the way, surprisingly, we don't have any Banshees at all. All that gas seems to be going into Widow Mines now, so it's a different way of playing, which we haven't seen already. So far. So Widow Mine is going to be very strong at defending, and already we have a lot of roaches here. I think they will be surprised at seeing Widow Mines.
Yeah, this is actually very devastating there. One roach already gets taken down. The roaches are burrowing, and it's going to force all of these SCVs to play a little bit more repairing. The timing on this is going to be so difficult. Another roach does burrow just in time, and is now regenerating more hit points, I believe. SCV's
repairing this supply depot, and no, it won't get open. although one SCV has to pay for it with its own life. By the way, I love the physics addition in Heart of the Swarm. This looks so much more entertaining when just things die around and you see guts flying everywhere. That's so better. Oh, and using the timing where roaches are burrowed and regenerating, Turuk also has moved away with his Widow Mines, and now roaches will unburrow. They will instantly get hit again. Wow. By the way, can you avoid the Widow Mine damage if you burrow just in time?
No, I think it automatically targets onto the unit. I think we saw earlier a roach actually taking damage, even though it was fully burrowed. And you can see it there. Once again, another supply depot is going to get taken down. Are we going to see a medevac? A medevac is moving forward with Widow Mines, and this could potentially be huge inside the mineral line here. There goes a couple.
Oh my god, all these workers and a queen. Ah, so much damage with just one precise strike. Wow, Turuk looking so good in this game.
Yeah, Turuk right now looking really, really strong, but the roaches are starting to make a little bit of a dent on a wall. 2 more roaches go down, and these Widow Mines here are still in position. They're not going to unburrow. A Spore Crawler going to come out, and what is going to happen? This queen is going to get taken down in an instant, pretty much, and maybe some more units.
Oh, no, did you see Turuk? What Turuk did is he targeted the larva with a Widow Mine, because Widow Mine targeting actually allows you to take down larva from the Zerg. And unfortunately, these little cuddly creatures are now just ripping the Widow Mines apart, so no longer, but I think it has dealt enough damage for Turuk to be satisfied with.
Now, one thing I did want to say was I was surprised that Turuk didn't actually go for an early Raven. Normally, early Ravens have been very, very successful. If you guys did not know, Seeker missiles only cost 75 energy compared to the 125 before. How they work as well, the targeting on them is different, such that if the units don't pull back away in the first 5 seconds, they will hit their target no matter what. So they become much, much more deadly. And deadly in general, and I think the Raven would have shut down that roach push earlier. There, you can see that Turuk is sitting on a fair amount of gas, sitting on about 600 since he's only been training Hellions and Widow Mines, and now finally adding siege tanks.
Oh, by the way, did you notice that the icons for the gas have changed in the upper right corner? You have different icons for different races now, or was it always this way and I'm just a dummy?
No, I think you're right. I think it's different icons. It's actually what the little units hold. So the SCVs have little canisters, the Zerg have those little balls, and the Protoss have those squares.
Oh, and already a Widow Mine by Turuk next to this base. A Zergling is there to bait it. Very good play. Now, I have found out that most players deal with Widow Mines just by baiting them with some, cheap units. So Protosses throw a worker. Sometimes they just hallucinate a couple of workers to get rid of Widow Mine field. Widow Mines have an extremely long duration on their cooldown, so if you just force 1 or 2 shots right away at the start of the battle, then you are very safe for another minute. Nearly a minute, 45 seconds I think it is precisely.
Yeah, 45 Starcraft seconds, which I think translates to like 33 real-time seconds. Yeah. Never quite sure why Starcraft time is slightly faster. But we'll take a look here. Turuk is now sitting on 3 bases. We can see muscular augments for the Zerg, meaning that Hydralisk will be able to move faster off of creep. It's been one of those things where a lot of players didn't use Hydralisk just because they were too slow. You're going to see them now moving very, very quickly. It's not the same movement speed as when they are on creep. Some players, or a lot of players, found that to be a little bit too powerful. I think it was shown in the first battle report. Yeah. That they had the same movement speed as stimmed Marines, and they were able to chase down units all across the field. Just so broken.
I just imagined how it would look like in a sports situation. So you know the sport that's called curling, I think, where there are 2 guys with a broom, and one guy throws a rock on ice, and and then
you sweep in front or you sweep behind to try. Yeah.
So I imagine the same situation with a Hydralisk. He just you know, picks up the speed on creep, and then two Zerglings in front go with a broom and try to make his way forward so he can go faster. Sorry, sometimes I do get all these absurd thoughts.
Alright, we're going to see a Zergling run by now, try and hit the third base of Turuk. Turuk is now down by about 40 supply. It looks like he is going to let this fall as he is coming in with his own strong counterattack. Hydralisk able to pick off a medevac before it gets there. Turuk losing a little bit of control on his unit. And here we go, a whole bunch of Hellbats and Siege Tanks making their way forward.
Yeah, and this round by has dealt much more damage than it was supposed to. This one more command center gets cancelled. And I think Turuk will have to let go of this base, and he is going for a baser. He's just hoping, okay, let's hope I deal enough damage with my attacks so this actually pays back. Does he have enough defenses though on his natural? Yes, he has. It seemed to be so. And now our good friend, whose name we often avoid, SSanaEE, is just running away from this fourth base. Oh, and we have Vipers. Let's see what happens. The range nerf that you can apply with this one fart of the Viper, and you have to agree this is a fart in some way.
Yeah, basically the Vipers are just farting all over the siege tanks. Now they're gonna go ahead and eat up an extractor, gain some more energy, and then fart on some more units. That green gas, it's not silent, but it is deadly.
Yeah. And you know, you can argue, oh, but Marines have visors. Yes. But the stench is overwhelming and you can't shoot anything except on melee range, where you actually panic. So anyway, enough of this talk. We have Turuk, who is placing down all of these siege tanks now to protect his third, and we will see how it goes. SSanaEE looking very strong, and also I love 4 Vipers. It seems just enough. People have been experimenting with 1 or 2, but the energy wasn't there for a while. 4 Vipers is actually something that can keep you going no matter what happens.
Alright, here we have the Vipers staying away from all of those Vikings. The unit simply walking into the base, taking down things. You can see more blinding cloud, more farting going on, and Turuk can't stand the stench, has to get away. Roach is there to clean up as well. As you see, some abduct into the cloud, only to get destroyed. Some beautiful micro by SSanaEE, and there's the GG.
Nice, looking so beautiful. Both of the players, I believe, extremely strong, and this has been a high-level play between them. A lot of micro display that they did for us, so awesome. I'm very happy to see the next game that will happen. And by the way, you know, exactly right now, just before Heart of the Swarm launches, you can see how the game evolves and how it shapes up. So first, it was very chaotic in Heart of the Swarm. Right now, there are still some very chaotic strategies out there anyway, but then you can already start picking up the details of how it will look like in future. So for example, 4 Vipers seem very good. Maybe people will get down to 3 Vipers and that will be just the okay number. Maybe 2 will be the answer. You will just need to eat an extractor or 2. But anyway, now you have an idea that okay, I don't want to have 5 or 6 Vipers because they don't do too much. And also the abduction not so strong as the farting ability. So all of that is kind of interesting to see. We are only casters, so we don't know what will happen. We don't know what's going through the minds of likes of Nesty and MC and all the people that are playing in GSL, but I'm sure we will see quite soon. By the way, you can join the game.
All right, let me get over there. I was keeping it on the victory screen so that you know it looked oh so good as you were talking and giving a little bit of that summary there.
Yeah.
I gotta say this tournament's difficult for me because it starts 2 hours before noon, and I haven't eaten lunch yet. So it's kind of like that weird time for me where I'm like, okay, I can't eat lunch at like 9:30, but
no, not really.
Yeah.
But hopefully we should be finished in an hour. I think this is the first semi-final. We should have the second one lined up shortly afterwards, so you'll be able to grab your snack quite soon. Or if you need to, I can just go on and solo cast for a while.
I won't leave you high and dry, but here, do you want to do the introductions or shall I?
Well, whatever you prefer. Maybe I'll go after you, please.
Alright, so here on Achillean Waste we have Turuk spawning as the purple Terran in the top right-hand side of the map, and I leave you with the name we do not want to pronounce.
Yeah, he who should not be named. This is SSanaEE spawning in the bottom right position, and I have just said his name, and he didn't appear right next to me, so I don't think there's much correlation with Voldemort from Harry Potter series, but still, having such a nickname, I imagine it's quite a pain for all the commentators around.
I'm sure what he wants to do is he wants to get so good that everyone just knows the name SSanaEE, and will be like, yeah, you know what? The casters already know how to say it, as we see a proxy barracks come in. All right, so Turuk coming in with a proxy 2 racks. I believe this is going to be the 11-11 variety, and we'll see if SSanaEE goes for a hatchery first.
Oh, if he goes for a hatchery first, then he will be in a world of trouble. I would like to see him trying to defend that. He seems... I haven't casted any games of him recently, none of that I can remember of. But he seems a very precise player, from my opinion. And on the other hand, Turuk is this aggressive guy, and I think we can both agree on that. That Turuk isn't the mastermind when it comes to precision, but when he attacks, oh my god, I feel sorry for you.
Alright, so SSanaEE is going to come in, take a look around, and what he needs to see here is how many SCVs are there, and he also knows that an orbital command is being upgraded. He has to know that it is a proxy 2 racks, and now what is he going to do in order to defend? That is the follow-up question.
He's not canceling the hatchery, so he wants to go with a hatchery alive. I'm sure he'll try to go for a spine crawler, although it's always a difficult question you need to answer yourself, because the Terran can place bunkers anywhere. If you choose to defend your natural and you spread out too much, then he may just sidestep away from your defenses and go straight for the main. Well, there's a lot of ways of how this scenario can evolve, and we already have the hatchery finishing. We should have creep around it soon, ready to place a spine crawler. There's already a bunker being built, 2 spine crawlers behind the hatchery. That's actually interesting to see. And the Marines going up front. Oh, all the SCVs, nearly all the SCVs being pulled to help this. The bunker gets cancelled and replaced somewhere more to the front, and the spine crawlers get focused. Oh my god, this is not looking good for SSanaEE.
No, it's not. SSanaEE does have 6 Zerglings on the field, but that is just a lot of Marines and a lot of SCVs acting as a wall. The Marines are up against the wall trying to make sure that they cannot get surrounded. It is looking fairly good, but more Zerglings are hatching all over the place. Will the bunker complete in time? It looks like it will, and they do jump inside. SCVs, however, going to need to repair. That is a lot of drones, a lot of Zerglings, and there you have it. I believe SSanaEE is going to be able to hold this, and pretty much Turuk, all he can do is now lick his wounds, lift up these barracks, and head back home, as the economic and the production value of SSanaEE is simply too much. It is 7 drones versus 7 or 8 SCVs, adding a queen, and this is going to be rather painful.
Oh yes, it is. So right now, I think what would be very smart of Turuk if he went straight for factory. I know he doesn't have gas, but I think it's one of the smartest responses I have seen in my life. After your 2 proxy racks get countered, if you go straight to the factory behind that, then what you opposed is a bunch of Zerglings, and you can deal with that with Hellions quite easily.
Alright, I like this play by Turuk as well. He's purposely landing these barracks. What you saw was that all the Zerglings ran across the map, and they were going to start putting pressure on Turuk's front door. Now, by landing these barracks and starting to train Marines, SSanaEE realizes that, you know what, I cannot let Turuk get this many Marines this far down the map. Even though the Zerglings are faster,
Yeah,
He
but, and
just doesn't want to deal with that.
he basically, by doing this, he keeps all these Zerglings in check. These are the Zerglings who could be chewing on the supply depots on the front of Turuk's base. But then, you know, one of the things I'm concerned about is that Turuk doesn't have an expansion, and he needs one. He has also lost a lot of workers, but then the worker loss is kind of equal. So if we sum this up, Turuk has lost the same number of workers that SSanaEE, and he didn't get an expansion out of it, while SSanaEE, you know, he risked, but then he already has an expansion running, so his income is much higher than the Terrans.
Yeah, what we're really going to see from Turuk is, if you thought that was an SCV Marine all-in, we haven't seen anything yet. Turuk is just going to come back, he's going to pull pretty much every single SCV. He's going to try and use 4 barracks, hope that it doesn't get scouted out, as SSanaEE is coming in with an Overlord. And by Turuk placing all of these barracks separate and far away from each other, it's difficult for SSanaEE to get a good idea of how many barracks are actually inside the base. By doing this, all we're going to see is constant 4 Marine production, maybe get up to about 16 to 24, and then move out. The question
this just calls
SSanaEE
for some banelings, which I think right now are very much underused with the addition of... Oh my god, do you see how huge smudges 2 Zerglings left on the ramp? They just rolled down, leaving lots of blood behind them. Kids, if you're watching this, close your eyes, please.
Yeah, the physics effects are really just more wonderful to look at. In Heart of the Swarm, Turuk is still training up more SCVs. It looks like he is going to be supply blocked. That's going to be a bad miscalculation on his part if he's trying to mass Marines and move out. There is an Overlord down now, so SSanaEE, and here you go, there's all the SCVs. There's 600 extra minerals that that Turuk is not currently using, and the Zerglings do spot all of this.
And he can't use, maybe if he calls down a supply depot upgrade, extra supplies from his orbital command, that would help. But besides that, he needs to deal with with only a Marine force, and I think he moved out prematurely. He was hoping to deal some damage, but then he really needs this mid shield in front in form of SCVs. And all of the SCVs will get focused by spine crawlers, and the Marines take their time to shoot down these spiky little fellows. And one goes down, the second one is still up. Transfuses on the Queen did help it to live a little bit longer, but then the Queens are falling apart right now, and literally falling apart. And another transfuse saving the Queen. SSanaEE, such a precise player, oh my god. Oh, but then this move has been very unfortunate. He has left the Zerglings behind and has lost 2 of the so precious Queens that he had back in his base. And we have a G from Turuk, which is a polite way of saying, okay, I didn't play up to my best, but still I respect you. And we have SSanaEE going to the finals tonight.
Yeah, so really impressive play. I think Turuk just trying to do the proxy 2-axe. So many Zerg players know how to handle it already that I didn't feel that it was going to be really that successful. And add in that they were forced to retreat all the way back home. I did like the play by Turuk, landing those barracks down, forcing the Zerglings away from the front door of Turuk. That did buy him a little bit of time, but Queens, 4 Queens, all those transfusions, Spine Crawler with 2 armor, transfuses on the Spine Crawlers, just not going to work out for you.
I would just... I will go onto a ramble of my own, but what I would like to see more is Baneling play. I think right now people just underestimate the power of Banelings. If you can have Burrow at tier 1 straight from your hatchery, that's only 100 more gas after you do the speed research. So if you have speedlings, I would expect you to have some burrowed banelings as well to go alongside with that. There is so much he could do with that force of burrowed banelings. You can just burrow 1 at random somewhere alongside the attack path towards your base, and then the Terrans will stop feeling comfortable. They will need to circle around the map to avoid all of that traps. You could place 1 near your ramp to explode at the decisive moment. I mean, there's so many things you could do with a burrowed baneling on tier 1.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if some players forego speed just to get Burrow
Oh,
early.
yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, banning landmines at tier 1.
Yes.
Like, that idea, if you told me that idea 2 years ago, like, yeah, in Wings of Liberty, they're thinking about allowing tier 1 banning landmines. You're like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, you would go like,
can't,
that's,
yeah, you can't do
ridiculous.
that. But with the way that the game has progressed, it does make sense now, and I'm interested to see when the players are going to start adapting to it and what the counter move is going to be. I'm afraid that the game is going to go back into the, okay, I'm going to build defensively while expanding again, and then in 3 years we're going to have the same conversation where,
oh yeah, you know, Legacy of the Void, so good.
It's gonna fix everything, and you know, just wait. Heart of the Swarm, they didn't quite have it right.
That can happen, but I believe Blizzard, for me, is the strongest development company, because they not only understand how to make games, but what actually is good in a game, and they notice all these little details, like, okay, the early game was too long, we want to shorten that, we want to give players additional options for some aggression, so the viewers get it better. They think about hundreds of different aspects of their own games, and they put a lot of attention into making it right. So I have high hopes, and you know, Wings of Liberty didn't let me down at all. It just evolved to a point where everyone was so comfortable with playing macro games, and now Heart of the Swarm just encouraging aggressive play. This is so good.
Well, what do you think about? Like, I think one of the reasons why Wings of Liberty is also stale is we're not introducing new maps into the Wings of Liberty map pool. I think there's been so much focus on Heart of the Swarm and balance there, that the community goes, you know what, we don't need to make new maps because everything's going to change in Heart of the Swarm anyways. So this particular cycle of maps have been out for about a good year and a half, I would say.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why, oh, you know, that the game's a stale. I mean, it's been like 3 years since we played a game on Metalopolis, but you know, a year and a half ago we were still playing games on Daybreak, I believe.
I have the craziest idea of them all. Let's play a tournament and bring up the old maps, like Steps of War, like how was
Lost Temple.
Lost Temple, yeah. I have one in mind which was very much in design like Antigua Shipyard in terms of the style. It had two bases very close to each other with air, and there was one single gold expansion at the tip of that map. How was it called?
I don't remember that one.
It would be so crazy to get all the best players to play on these maps. I mean, they are so not used to the current meta game and the current style of where Starcraft 2 is, but it will be so entertaining.
I would think Zerg would actually be too good.
On
like,
Steps of War?
Hear me out on, okay, not Steps of War,
yeah,
but hear me out on this.
Okay.
Remember that the Overlord movement speed, that is going to change everything, because before,
yes,
like scouting times were like, okay, you know, that slow moving Overlord, it's going to get in my base around 1 minute 50 seconds. Now it's going to get in my base at like 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30. The Zerg player is going to know exactly what's going on from the time they have 9 workers on. It's going to be way too fast just because of the scouting options for Zerg, and then they're going to be able to respond and react better.
That's actually a very smart comment. I haven't...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you are so smart. But I haven't thought about the Overlord movement speed. Yeah, that actually changes a lot. And back in the days, I think they increased it because the map size has increased. And in general, you know, right now we have maps, I think 2 or 3 times the size of the original ones when StarCraft 2 has launched. And I was thinking more in the lines of, okay, Zergs will not be able to take a third, because on those maps taking a third was actually taking a huge risk, and the third map was very much forward to and you know, prone to any types of aggression. Yeah, all of that. But anyway, as we wait for the for the second semi-final to happen. Goody is right now 1-1 with Sage, so we will see where that goes. By the way, Goody is like reborn in Heart of the Swarm because his favorite style of play, mech, is so much viable right now and so much more diverse than it has been. So we will see how it goes for him. We will see, will it be, I already forgot the nickname, the one who should not be named, against Goody, or will it be, you know, the one who should not be named against Sage? Anyway, the final is going to be exciting. We'll be back with you in a second, guys, after a short commercial break, so don't go anywhere. And also, remember to comment on our threads on Team Liquid to join the people who may have a chance of winning a Heart of the Swarm copy when Heart of the Swarm launches. We'll have 5 copies especially for you to sweeten up the launch day of Heart of the Swarm. So see you after the commercials.